It's 11:43 p.m. I haven't posted a video for this series in 2 months. And in the last 2 months since I posted the first video, exactly 2 months ago, February 23rd, I went to London, Ohio, Boise, Vegas, Miami, Germany, and now I'm going to Mexico in a few days. And in this video, I'm going to give you the no sugarcoat raw update. If you're someone that's getting started in videography or building out a marketing agency, if you're a freelancer, this video is for you. I'm not selling anything. I'm just someone that's passionate about business and videography, and I'm taking those two passions, combining them into one thing by launching my own production company with my best friends. Ascender production company was founded in 2024, but this is our first year of really taking things seriously. And when I say this is our first year of actually taking things seriously, we just signed our first client. Our first client that has signed an official agreement is February 4th, and we have the first retainer client for Ascender. I have a call with him at 7:30 a.m. and I'm gonna get all the social media passwords for them. I want to quickly give you guys some insight as far as how I priced out the package. So what we're doing for this client is a full social media package, meaning we are shooting, editing, and posting content on all social media platforms for them, 4 platforms. The way I price this out is based on the value I thought we as a company could provide to them. So they'd been already investing some money into an ad agency. It wasn't working out. And I told them, I was like, we're a small company. We're not even 5 people. I'll be extremely responsive and reachable by phone because that was an issue they were having. They kept getting redirected to their VAs in foreign countries instead of the actual business owner. It made communication super hard. The content overall did not look that good. So with that in mind, personally, I love organic growth. So I came to this client and I said, look, I know what you guys have set up right now, and I'm not saying that it's the wrong way to go, but personally, I think you guys can see a lot of potential with organic content. And at the time they had less than 800 followers, and now they've got over 1,000. And that's just from posting pretty much every day. From our end, we're creating 15 reels a month for them from one shoot every other month, and then we're posting every other day. So I priced that out accordingly. I gave them 2 options, one to have a videographer come out every single month, once a month, or to have it every other month and then spread out the content a little bit farther apart. And that's what they ended up going with for the time being until the practice grows a little more. This is a health and wellness clinic, and if I didn't mention it already, Ascender production company is going to be surrounded in the fitness, health, and wellness niche. I'm super into it. All the work I've been doing for the last 3 years is pretty much shot in gyms. My business partner, my best friend, my co-founder, Ken, is an Ironman athlete, super strong background in fitness. We live and breathe it, and it's something that's present in our day-to-day lives, so that's what we're building our company around. So we got that retainer client down, and then in Hawaii, for those of you guys that don't know, Ken lives in Hawaii right now. He's getting his film degree. He locked in a retainer client.
And today's March 4th, 2025. It is currently raining in Hawaii, walking back from class. But we just secured our first ever, my first ever retainer client. We're doing it. This is the beginning of an empire.
Not a long retainer, it's just gonna be a couple months, but there is room for expansion beyond that. And when we talked about pricing that out, it's like, okay, you're gonna have to go out and shoot a little more often than I have to go shoot with my client. But the difference between our clients is that he's only like 10 minutes away from the business. I am 2 hours away. So for me to go out and shoot a full day of shooting, really it adds an additional 4 hours to however long I'm actually filming because of the driving. That's something you guys definitely need to factor in when you're pricing out these shoots. You don't want to charge for a 1 hour shoot if you're driving 2 hours to get there. It's not gonna be worth your time. Then you're spending 5 hours on something that you're really only getting paid for 1 hour work for. And I bring that up because I definitely missed that when I was getting started. So quickly, we had 2 clients on retainer, and keep in mind, I'm starting to travel for work. I have 1 client outside of the production company. His name's Jeremy Buendia. Traveling with him for a bunch of different shoots, and then I was home for a couple days in between trips, and a client that I had talked to months ago, back in October last year, reached out to me, asked if my rates were still the same, and we ended up getting on a call pretty soon after that, and he pretty much said that he had started making some money from his personal training and that he's looking to invest in his content. So I know at the time, what I pitched him was kind of expensive for an individual creator that wasn't necessarily making money off their content. This guy didn't even have 10,000 followers. And when you're looking to spend thousands of dollars on your content and you're not even having any sponsorships or anything like that. It's a big investment. I totally understand that, and that's why we don't really work with a lot of individual people. Really, the goal is to work with businesses and creators that are building brands. And this guy is building a brand that is growing very fast. When we talked, he's at less than 7,000 followers, I think, and now he's over 13,000. But he hit me up and he asked me if I was gonna be available to shoot anytime soon, and that week was when I went to Boise for a couple days. I got home from Boise like 7 a.m., went straight to the gym from the airport, got a workout in, went home, showered, got my bag ready, and went to shoot with this guy for about 5-6 hours. So a lot of these projects we're taking on right now are full days of shooting that produce enough content to last for a month. So out of that shoot, we got about 15 reels. So it didn't last him a month because he was posting every single day, but he was also using some of his own content to, one, provide some variety in between what we filmed and other things that he could do on his own, but two, to stretch that time in between shoots out a little bit more. The first shoot went great. It went so great that he hit me up to do another one before he finished posting all of that content. So we got 2 shoots in with him, not on any contract or retainer right now. And then aside from that, I did one other shoot, super quick gym shoot for a sponsored athlete. He needed 4 reels for a supplement sponsor. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, I charged $500 for that. And if you're wondering how I got to that number, it's based on how much time I'm spending driving to the gym, shooting, coming home, and then how much money I'm spending on our editor, and then also what's available in the market right now. Personally, I know that what we're bringing to the table as far as the equipment we're using and the quality of our edits, the effort we're putting in, it is something that sets us apart from other creators in the area. Personally, I've been a full-time videographer for almost 3 years now, so I've been picking up my camera pretty much every day for the last 3 years, and that shows in the videos I make, the videos Ken makes, and the editing Andrew, our editor right now, is doing for us. The effort that we put in over the years is apparent in our work, and that's what's allowing us to charge what we charge. So to get into the numbers a little bit, I'm not going to break down individual prices from each client, but I will say that in the last 2 months, we brought in $9,000, just about. That's the number you saw in the title. And it's honestly amazing because we haven't done any outreach yet. And I know I said that I'm gonna be taking this as serious as possible, but the truth is I've been putting in as much time as I could have. Outside of working on a sender, what I've been doing is working with Jeremy Buendia. We've got a huge project coming up, which if you guys have seen other videos on my channel or you follow me on Instagram, you know we're getting a gym open up here in California, Roseville, California, in about 2 months. That is not an easy task. So far, every day this week, I've spent every morning sitting with Jeremy. We're just on our laptops grinding out back-end tasks to get this gym up and running and get it to live up to our expectations as far as what we want to see in members in the community, just the overall public reaction when we get open in about 2 months. So I haven't been sitting here doing nothing. Ken's getting ready to graduate and get his film degree, and in about less than a month, he's gonna be done with school forever, and he's gonna be working on a sender full time. Personally, I've been the one that has technically had the flexibility over the last couple of years to work on it full time because I'm not in school. Now he's gonna be right there with me, being able to go all in on the company. I wanted each of these videos in the series to have a lesson tied to it, and my takeaway from the last couple months is messy action. And I think I got that from the 505 podcast like a year ago or something like that, an older episode. But this year has been all about just doing things that we've talked about for so long. Me and Ken spent hours and hours and hours talking about this production company that we're going to build, all the clients we're going to help, all this value we're going to provide, and we didn't have the most to show for it by the end of 2024. So going into this year, it was all about backing up our words with actions, and I'm happy to say that I feel super happy with what we've been able to do this year so far. And I think the most important thing is I'm not thinking about what anyone else has got to say. I honestly don't care. At the end of the day, I've got my eyes set on the goals that we have as a company, my personal goals, and I know where we're headed. I know what's on the horizon. I'm not sitting here overthinking about the most optimal way to do things and trying to wait for the perfect moment to start to do X, Y, Z. I'm just taking action. That's why I say messy action. It's not perfect. We're not doing this perfectly at all. In a perfect world, we would have been doing outreach, running Facebook ads, posting every day on Instagram. I can name a million things we would be doing if we were being optimal. But the truth is, we're sitting here and we're just taking as much action as we possibly can. And that means we're wearing every hat in the business. Being the videographer, being the editor, posting on social media, managing the business, finances, doing the taxes. Like, we have an accountant, but you still have stuff to do with that. You gotta follow up with clients, you gotta maintain these relationships, you gotta keep building, because if you're not building, you're falling behind. So if you're someone that's been struggling to see growth with your videography, with your freelancing, or with your production company, my advice to you is to do a little audit of where your time's going right now, because I know that last year when I started tracking the hours I was putting in things, I really had some clarity of, shit, I'm not being as productive as I could be. Like, a lot of my time is just getting wasted. When I was clocking in and clocking out, I saw how many hours I was legitimately working versus how many hours I was just on my phone or on social media or doing other stuff that honestly, I don't even know why I was doing it. I'm not tracking the hours I'm clocking in right now, but I do know that I'm taking action on the things that I'm personally committing myself to do every day, those to-do lists that I write every night before I go to bed, monthly goals, and the overarching goals for the year. I know that I am taking the steps every day to get to those bigger things. Right now, that looks like making sure that my client work is done before working on any of my personal projects. That's why I'm not posting that often, to be honest. Making sure we're paying our retention clients some extra attention right now to help strengthen those relationships and make sure they're going to be lasting. Documenting as much as possible, because I know that I might not be able to post consistently, but I at least want to have it all filmed. I've got all these trips filmed, but I'm going to keep documenting, and I do want to post more vlogs. I want to post more videos in the series. I have made a bet with Ken that we're going to start posting every Thursday, but I'm not saying every Thursday I'm going to be dropping a video in the series. I've got a lot of other content I want to make too, but I will keep documenting the process of building this production company and showing you guys the reality of starting from scratch. The last thing I want to touch on is, obviously in the title it says like $8,458 or something like that. That's not how much money we have now, because there's expenses involved in everything you do. So to name off a couple things that we spent money on, we're left with $2,700. So the big expenses, we paid $800. That's our California LLC tax to have the LLC. You gotta pay that once a year. Spent almost $1,000 on editing. So out of that $9,000, spent about $1,000 on getting some of those projects edited, which in my opinion, well worth it, because in the last 2 months I took on projects that I would not have been able to edit. So the fact that we got Andrew to edit some projects for us, it turned out absolutely amazing. I wish I had my reaction when I watched the first reel he edited on camera, because I've worked with editors before and it hasn't always gone smoothly. But I got this video back from Andrew, and when I watched it, I finished watching it and I smiled, because I was like, dude, this is a perfect standard right here. Lives up to what we want to be as a company, and really we just need to make some minor tweaks to it to build on it. There's always room for growth, but as long as you've got the basics down and you've got a solid starting point, there's so much you can do. So shout out to Andrew, because I know he was grinding on 3 projects for us in the last month or so. As far as other expenses goes, spent about $1,200 on accounting and taxes, and then a few $1,000s on the credit card. So booked a couple flights. I bought a bunch of new equipment that I had to return, so I'm waiting for a refund. And then just other miscellaneous expenses. I buy all my gas for my car, any repairs, stuff like that. But yeah, today is, it's April 24th now. It's 12:09 a.m. guys, and we have $2,710.37 in this bank account. So just keeping it real with you guys. I mean, that's what we got. All the money is getting invested back into the company. So the $5,000 that went off of that $8,500 that's in the title, our income from all the work we did, that $5,000 is put right back into the business, whether that's the maintenance, the taxes, the equipment, all necessary expenses. With that being said, I think I laid everything out for you guys. This clip is 31 minutes long right now, so whatever I cut it down to is whatever you're at right now. I'm gonna wrap up this video. I appreciate you guys for watching episode 2 of building a production company from scratch. I will see you guys very soon. If you have any questions or you want to see anything else in these videos, let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to be reading all of them. I appreciate your feedback. Again, I appreciate how many of you guys watched the first video in the series, and I can't wait to continue posting about this, because this is my dream project, building my own production company with my best friends, with my boys, and combining 2 of my passions. We're just going to keep stacking that messy action. Rise and ascend. I'll see you guys in the next one.